Well, give it up for Nathan Schlehlein. That's it.
Okay. Thank you. Hi, everybody. Super happy to be here. Oh, you got secret papers. Can't look at those. My name is Nathan. I'm from the bustling city of Des Moines, Iowa. It's really fun to be here. And what? Don't laugh. Come on. I understand there's a bit of a bacon subculture here at CodeMash. Is this true? Right? Yes. Okay. As the official, unofficial representative of the state of Iowa, I would like to say you're welcome. So there you go. Anyway, my presentation is Viva los flyover states. So I have an uncomfortable truth for all of you. Chances are you live in a flyover state. I know, it's rough. I mean, people make fun of you or I don't know, whatever. What are you going to do about it? How are you going to cope, right? There's a couple things you could do. One, you could emulate people that live on the coasts, I guess, but who wants to do that? Or you could just have a pity party for yourself. That's not cool. Quite frankly, I think it's a lot cooler to just sit back, relax, and enjoy all the cool stuff that's flying over, right? So yeah, exactly, with this slide. It's kind of like a free air show, and it's always happening above you. So there's a couple different ways that you can take a look at all the stuff that's flying over. You can use your senses, right? You can look up and go, oh yeah, that's cool. It's an airplane or something. You can use your hearing, which maybe isn't as cool and may drive down your property value. You can also maybe use taste, like nothing like a good Cessna 182 in the morning. Nice and, has a nice smooth finish. Nice and good like that. It turns out you can also use radio, and this is kind of cool. Using this little device called a RTL SDR dongle, this thing was originally designed to receive European digital television. As it turns out, you can hack this thing to tune anywhere from like 2 megahertz all the way up to almost 2 gigahertz, which is pretty cool. You can actually track planes that are flying over your house. Check this out. Oh wait, yeah, there you go. All that stuff. I should be advancing more. For instance, here's a nice picture of all the planes that are flying over my flyover state of Iowa. I'm receiving this at home, parsing it out, and putting it onto a map. It's pretty fun, actually. So this is fun to put together and everything like that. But where I work at Pillar Technologies in Des Moines, we kind of have this mantra. It's the no constraints environment sort of thing. And I was thinking about that one day, and I was like, no constraints, environment, no constraints. Why limit ourselves to stuff that's flying around in the environment? Let's take a look at space. There's stuff out in space. I know about space. Look at that. Yeah, 159 hours of excellence there. Yeah, baby. So as I started looking into space, I realized that Iowa actually has a little bit of a connection to space. So I'm going to brag a little bit here. Bear with me. You've eaten my bacon. I can do this. So here you see this is the first satellite America threw into space. That's the Pioneer or Explorer. Wow, I'm having a brain fart. Anyway, it's the first satellite that we put in space. The guy over here, the short fella, this is actually James Van Allen, who is the discoverer of the Van Allen radiation belts. He actually is a professor at the University of Iowa. So our first satellite from America that went up actually served a purpose. It's kind of cool. In addition to that, that's Peggy Whitson over there. She's actually been in space almost 2 years. She's from Iowa, as it turns out, and she loves Iowa so much that she couldn't wait to go up in space and avoid it for a while. It's kind of neat. Also, Iowa has 2.24 astronauts per million citizens. That's a useless statistic. Never mind. People love it so much they can't wait to leave the Earth. Anyway, so I have a 3-step plan here for flyover state greatness. First of all, I'm going to start listening for stuff up in space, right? That's cool. First thing I'm going to do is find an easy target, like a geosynchronous satellite. These guys don't move. One cool thing that you can do to kind of mess around with geosynchronous satellites is to play with the outernet thing. The outernet service, rather. This broadcasts free content, a whole bunch of neat stuff, using a bunch of geosynchronous satellites that are parked over the equator, and you can pick them up. All you need is an L-band antenna, one of these dongles, a little chip computer, and you're off to the races. It's kind of cool. Here you see one of them in operation at my office with a load-bearing stapler. Very fun. There's a couple things that are fun about this. It's easy enough that I could throw it together. I think it's a great mission. Their whole thing is to provide internet-esque connectivity to people maybe in countries where they don't have reliable broadband or something like that. So that's kind of cool. The next step is to find a less easy target now that I've mastered finding geosynchronous satellites, right? So these would be the polar orbiting satellites. Look at those things move. They are very fast. Some examples of this, we have like the ISS. This is a polar satellite, sort of, right? Give me that. There's also a bunch of NOAA weather satellites up there that are taking pictures of clouds all day long, which is pretty cool. Where are they? Well, as it turns out, you can get this thing called the two-line element, which tells you some characteristics about the satellite, right? So you're reading this and you're like, oh, I get it. No, it's downright impossible to do that. Luckily, there's some software that can help. Check these things out. They're all amazing. And you can basically predict where a satellite's going to be in advance. You can even use Python libraries to dump a schedule of incoming passes onto your Pebble Watch, but only losers do that. Oh. Yep. So the ISS. The ISS is really cool, as we all know. One of the cool things that they do on there is that they occasionally broadcast slow scan television, which is kind of neat. Here's a picture that I just grabbed about 2 months ago off the ISS. Some cosmonauts sent it to me. I like to think of it that way, at least. It's got Konstantin Toslivsky on there. So it was fun learning about him. I even bought a ruble that has him on there. I mean, who thought that, right? Anyway. There's also NOAA satellites. These are kind of cool. You can receive them by making your own goofy antenna, something like this, and standing out in the middle of your yard and freaking out your neighbors at 3 in the morning. It's kind of fun. Next, automation. There's some good stuff about this, the homebrew stuff, like my watch. Then also there's this SatNogs project. I do suggest to check it out. I see I'm low on time. We're going to keep moving. If you want to try this, I'd suggest going and getting an RTL SDR dongle on Amazon. They're about 20 bucks or like 0.00 something of a Bitcoin. There's a whole bunch of community involved on this. Definitely check it out. It's a lot of fun. So thank you very much, and have a fun conference, y'all.